Today, Alcaraz makes Tsitsipas look like a kid, like a bum, like he does not belong on the court with him. It was pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. I tuned in. I watched most of the game, and I must say, like the first two sets, especially that boy Alcaraz, that boy is crazy, man. 20 years old. We know he won the U.S. Open already. We know, he's being Djokovic, he's being Nadal, he's being basically everyone on tour already. He's the next big thing. He's gonna take the reign, or he already took the reins from the big three basically. And he just punked. He just punked Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas, tried to play it light afterwards in the post game press conference, saying, I shouldn't have taken that melatonin. I shouldn't have taken a nap before the match. Man, you could have stayed up for the last 24 hours or taken a nap till the beginning of the match. Like, it did not matter. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. That's what Alcaraz showed today. That there's levels to this, and if I'm the rest of the field, I'm seeing Alcaraz just improve and improve and improve, and I'm like, man, that's scary. He could really really take over right here. Especially he plays Djokovic on Friday, and if he's able to defeat Djokovic, then it's like, all right, like no one could beat him. No one could stand. And Clay, he plays good on Clay too. Like he was one of the favorites even last year going into Roland Garros, where he lost to Zverev. But I want to emphasize this for the match on Friday. Djokovic versus Alcaraz on Friday is must-watch TV. Like if you've been trying to get into tennis, if you hear about the U.S. Open sometimes, you catch the little highlights on Instagram Reels or on TikTok. I'll be trying to share them sometimes, the cool highlights. If you ever thought about getting into tennis and you never knew, I don't know the players, I don't know when they're playing, I don't know none of that. I'm telling you right now, if you want to get into tennis, you want one match that's going to convince you to get into tennis, tune in on Friday to see Alcaraz versus Djokovic. Honestly, all it takes is one match, one good rally, a couple of suspenseful moments where they go to advantage deuce. You might not even know what that means if you're hearing this, but if you've ever thought about paying attention to tennis, tune in to Alcaraz versus Djokovic. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to watch tennis in the States. I will say that. Like, if you have to find a stream or tennis channel, hit up someone that has tennis channel on their YouTube TV, on their Sling, on their Xfinity TV, on their Hulu TV. Hit up someone that has tennis channel or tennis TV on it and try to watch the game, because I'm telling you, this is must-watch TV. And if you ever thought about, even just picking up tennis, it's a fun sport to play casually with some friends. Just go ahead on the courts. Or if you ever thought about getting into tennis, or you're one of the millions and millions of fans that like all the regular sports like soccer, football, basketball, like the big sports in the U.S., and you're thinking about maybe picking up golf or picking up tennis, a little sport that's branded like a little more like, high class, a little more white collar. Hey, this is the match that will get you into it, because it could get hyped too. Like I grew up on soccer. I picked up football, picked up basketball. Those were my big three for the longest. And these last few years, I've just gotten super into tennis. It's probably the sport I play the most with soccer. It's definitely one of the sports. I mean, I watch a lot of sports, so I wouldn't say it's the one I watch the most, because I just watch everything, but even F1. But I'm telling you, I could reference a couple years ago, I was the only one really watching tennis out of my friend groups. I wanted one of my roommates in SF to get into it. Roland Garros was going, 2021 Roland Garros, and I told him to tune in to Djokovic against Nadal in the semifinals of the 2021 Roland Garros. And it was still like, pandemic times. Like, we weren't even watching it together. We're kind of just texting each other through the match. And if you guys didn't watch that match, go catch some highlights. That match was insane. It was one of the best matches ever. That third set, Djokovic versus Nadal, is probably one of the best sets ever of all time. Like, the tennis was just ridiculous. I remember like Schwartzman and like Tsitsipas and I think Zverev, and like almost the whole tourney was just reacting to it. Like, everyone was live tweeting. Like, I think Schwartzman even has this tweet that I remember vividly, where he was like, if they're playing tennis, like what are we even playing? Like we look like mere mortals compared to these guys. And that was my homie's first match that he ever watched, and after that he's been hooked. Like all it took was seeing. I mean, it is one of the best matches ever apparently. But like I said, all it takes is one match, one really good match that you watch, and you get hooked. You see the rallies, you understand it. You go pick up the racket, you go play a little bit. You understand the thrill of it. All it takes is one match, and you get hooked. I'm telling you. So if you've ever thought about watching tennis, if you've ever considered, like why do people watch this? Like I don't really get it. They're just hitting the ball over the net. I'm telling you, tune in on Friday, Alcaraz versus Djokovic, and I guarantee you're gonna be hooked. You're gonna obviously not every match is gonna be as good as this one's gonna be, because I can guarantee you this one's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a classic. Obviously, not every match is gonna be as good as this one moving forward, but once you get into the sport, you start appreciating like the other matches. It's kind of like soccer. Like if you don't really watch soccer, but you watch one good game, you get hooked, and then you start watching more soccer, and then even the boring matches, just like a team that gets pressed towards the back and they're able to play out, and work their way out of a press, and you hear the crowd clap, and like if you were just maybe a couple months removed from when you got into soccer, you'll be like, why are they clapping? Nothing happened. But the more you watch soccer, the more you understand, like, oh, I get it. Like they're clapping because they were really pressed all the way in the back, and they were able to get the ball out of their own side of the field and go attack, and that was nice. Same thing with tennis. The more you watch it, the more you'll start appreciating. Not every match has to be like an all time classic for you to enjoy it. Like it'll just come naturally. You just start enjoying it more. So I'm telling you, if you want to get into tennis, if you want to get hooked, Alcaraz versus Djokovic on Friday. Make sure, write it down. Write it down.